What's up? Welcome to another episode of Daddy Confessions. So today I am um, sitting here doing something that is, pretty rare for a lot of parents, not just dads, for parents in general, and that is taking time to be alone. So I want to talk a little bit today about the importance of being alone. But first, I want to give a shout out to my wife. Um, she has always, since I think the first year we had my oldest son, always given me a shirt that expressly mentions that I am a daddy. And it's a good reminder. I appreciate it. My wife is really, she does some neat things in that way. She does a lot of neat things, but that's one of the things that I think is pretty cool. I got a lot of these shirts, so you may be seeing a lot of them over time as I transition into more videos um, to do these podcasts and to do a video stream as well. So, but today I want to talk about being alone and the importance of being able to find time to be alone. Um, so, first, I want to start off with the definition of alone. So, as defined by Merriam-Webster, alone means without anyone or anything else, not involving or including anyone else, separate from other people or things, without people that you know or that usually are with you. Perfect definition, especially when you talk about family, right? You talk about having kids, talk about having a wife. It is so important to be able to find time to be alone, to be without people that you know or that usually are with you. And as we know, kids are usually with us. So if you are listening to this and you have kids, uh, God bless you. You know what it's like to not be able to do things like go to the bathroom by yourself, finish your own food without having someone looking over your shoulder. You got to sneak and eat. You got to, go to the furthest recesses of the world to just be alone, right? So you understand. And so hopefully this topic will talk to you just a little bit. I'll probably revisit this later on. My wife told me that I shouldn't do all of these podcasts by myself. Today I'm going to do this one by myself because I happen to be alone and I wanted to have an opportunity to talk about this topic. It's especially hard these days, right? As we talk about being in COVID times and having, working from home. If you happen to work from home, or if you happen to be, splitting time between your spouse and the two of you are trying to figure out, being around the kids, helping them get their work done, also find time to get your work done, also find time to be by yourself. And it's hard. I mean, it's not easy at all. And although I love being able to spend time with my family, my sons, seeing them do their classwork, and when we're at home, um, it also means that we looking at each other's face almost 24 hours a day, right? Um, and so being able to find time when things are quiet, when you can, think about things that matter to you, um, decompress from the workday, um, and maybe even watch an adult show. I mean, like, not an adult show, right? But just a show for adults, like something that is rated PG-13 or above, um, kind of thing. It's important to be able to do that if that's what you're interested in, right? So, um, why be alone? Because it's a time to relax, time to meditate if that's what you do, time to pray if that's what you do. Time to just separate from everything. That means putting your phone away. That means putting your computer away. That means, just it could be doing a lot of different things, right? Um, Time to think, time to do absolutely nothing at all. Now, I don't know a lot of people who could just sit and do nothing. I mean, I guess technically meditation is something, right? Um, sitting and doing nothing seems a little crazy, like just staring off into space. But even that, hey, I've definitely caught myself staring off into space sometimes. Um, but it's hard to find the time to do that, to do nothing. Um, we got to figure it out, right? I have figured out ways to be alone, uh, and a lot of that really has to do with being able to say no, right? So my wife has a lot of great ideas on things that she wants us to do, um, places she wants us to go, things she wants to do with the kids, and sometimes, every once in a while, I just say no, I can't go, and then there'll be times where she will make me go, and that's cool. And then there will be times when I will take the kids, take the boys, and go. Those are fewer and far between. I'll be completely honest about that. I need to do it more. I know that's my flaw, right? That's my confession for the day, right there. Actually, this is going to be a lot of confessions today, but that's one of them. That I should do it more. I should take the kids more often and just go. It's harder to do now, um, but eventually we'll be able to get back to that. I'll be able to take them to the park, do those kind of things, get out, go to the zoo. I know she wants to go to the zoo with them as well, so maybe that won't be one of the places, but I'll take them and just go, and that'll be an important part of it as well, being able to be alone, right? So, but what I've found is that in the house, there are times when I can be alone. Very rarely do my kids bother me in the bathroom. Can't say the same for my wife. They usually leave me alone when I'm in the bathroom. I don't know why that, you know what, I won't even get into why that might be, but I can go in there and sit in there, not even be doing anything, legs falling asleep, like just in there for 30 minutes and on my phone and be alone. It's great. It's a great time to be alone, if you can find it. If you can get it, go to the quietest bathroom in your house. Yeah, usually the furthest away from the kids, and and you can be alone. Or hey, just go in there and run the shower, so they think you in the shower. If you in the shower, maybe they leave you alone. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I've been in the bathroom wasting my water, not even been in the shower, in there sweating because I just wanted to be alone for a little bit. Um, Another place that's good to go and be alone is your car. It works sometimes, um, but I have to drive. I drive my kids to school, so because of that, we're in the car a lot together. But when I have the opportunity to be in a car by myself, I take it. I will go for a long drive, waste all my gas, driving to places I don't even need to go to, just so I could be in the car, listen to my music, do whatever I want to do, and not have to worry about a lot of, you know, noise or the kids wanting to listen to their shows on the radio, or some podcast that they like to listen to. you know um we listen to the Story Pirates podcast. They love listening to the Story Pirates podcast. I can get away with not doing that when I'm alone in the car. And sometimes, I'm not even driving. I might just be sitting out front in the car, and not even going anywhere, not doing anything, uh, and just sitting there doing nothing, listening to the radio, I'm catching up on some emails. Um, I, it's funny because I've actually kind of what led me to this is I've seen a lot of commercials recently about that very thing where parents walk into their house and they see uh, things are going crazy in their house, and so they go back in the house and they go back in the car and they just sit in the car. I think I seen two different commercials for that. The most recent one I saw was a Lincoln Aviator commercial or something like that, and it was which is a nice car by the way. Lincoln Aviator. The woman went into the house. She came back out the house. It was like crazy in the house around the holiday time. Came back out the house, got in the car, just sat there. And I think that's a great way to do it. So if you can do it without them coming out to the car looking for you, go for it. Go for it. That's a good way to be alone. One of the ways I used to take time to be alone was by going to the movies. It was very rare that I did that, that I went to movies by myself, but that was actually um, one of my favorite things to do. If we ever get back around to just like having movie theaters open without there being any issue, I'll probably do that again. I used to love going to the movies by myself. Um, my wife is not a movie buff, a movie person. She don't really like the same types of movies that I like. So, it's very rare that she and I will be really hyped up about the same movie. But every once in a while, it happened and we go to the movies together. But sometimes I'll go by myself to the point where I remember one year my wife got me a gift certificate to the movie, get myself something to eat, and also get a massage. That was great. I mean, it's not being alone getting a massage, but it is, right? It's that time to kind of relax, to meditate, to not have to worry about anything. Once you get past that initial piece of like the whole how much pressure do you want, like does this feel okay kind of thing, you almost there by yourself when you're getting a massage. Um, Except somebody rubbing on you. But anyway, and that leads me to my next piece about like going to a restaurant, a bar, restaurant, or sitting at the bar at a restaurant, maybe watching the game on TV at the restaurant. So you're not actually alone, but you're not with your family. Um, and remember, going back to the definition, people who are always around. So this is a new set of people who are not always around. So maybe you're not alone. Maybe you are alone. Maybe you go sit in the booth and you have some wings or something by yourself. Um, you can eat your food and not have to worry about my son looking directly. I got one son that eats everything and one son that doesn't eat anything. Right. So I got one son who will leave you plate full of food to eat because he won't eat anything. Then I got the other son who's like a vacuum cleaner who will clean up behind my youngest, my 3 year old. So my 7 year old cleans up behind my 3 year old, and then he's looking at my face to see what I'm eating because he want to taste what I got. I'm like, yo, can I eat one meal without having somebody plotting on it? But yeah, that's so being able to go to a restaurant by yourself and be able to have that time is really important if you can get it. Eat your food, watch the game, do whatever you want, what I'm saying, out at the restaurant. It might be loud, but you alone. Um, you know, Working outside um is another piece for me. I don't know about other people, maybe it works for you as well. But for me, being able to work outside in the yard, like I throw on my headphones, and cut the grass or do some yard work, maybe fix some things outside, even if they don't need to be fixed, just so I have that time to kind of to be alone. Um, for me, it's that works well. It's I get a chance to clear my head, I get some things done, and I feel like it is. a space of time that is just for me. And I know, not everybody is interested in getting out and doing yard work, or getting out and doing something to feel like they are alone. But um, I think it really helps me clear my mind. So um, one day, what'll really clear my mind is having the kids go out and do it, and then I don't have to. But until that time comes, I got a 7-year old and a 3-year old, so I got a long way to go for that. Till that time comes, I'm going to be the one going out doing the work, and you know taking my time out there. So another way that I thought about was, and I hope everybody has a chance to have one of these. Every man has a chance to have one of these. And I know, they got this whole thing for women now. I'll talk about that in a minute, but having a man cave, or a man corner, or uh, a man closet, whatever, something for yourself, a place where you can kind of go and separate, and kind of um, make your own, and also feel like you have a place that you can then invite people into, right? And so I think that's an important piece, because oftentimes what is neglected in this whole idea about having kids is, um, for me, I remember my wife and I, we just celebrated our 11th anniversary. And I remember one, night we were celebrating, we sent the kids to my mother's house. We just kind of hung out together, had dinner. We actually ordered out. We, just sat and chilled together. So we were alone together. But it was that moment in time that actually reminded me how different life was before we had kids, right? So the amount of time that we could give to each other, the amount of time that we could take to just be in that moment, either together or apart, um, was quickly filled by first one son, and then 3.5 years later by our second son, that then became so all encompassing that it meant that we didn't take time for ourselves, right? We didn't have a place that was our sanctuary. We didn't have a time where we could sit and watch what we wanted to watch, either together or alone on TV, um, or not watch TV. We had to figure out dinner every night, almost every night, for the whole family. When we were just the two of us, there were times where we were just like, hey, you fend for yourself, I'm gonna fend for myself tonight, or we're gonna sit down and eat together, or we will eat on these little what they call those things, the little TV dinner tables or whatever. We would like literally sit in front of the TV and eat on the TV. We had a table, but we would sit in front of the TV and eat. And so you just did things differently. So anyway, so going back to the whole man cave idea, and then on the flip side of that, um, a a she shed, I think that's what it's called, a she shed. Having that place as your sanctuary, right? Having that place that is for you, that has the things that remind you of who you are as an individual. So this goes from for men and women. So this goes for daddies and mommies. But I think that's hugely important. And I know it's hard depending on how big your house is to have that place, for one of you, let alone for both of you. Um, but you have to make that place. I think you have to, in order to be able to kind of take the time to uh, re-energize yourself, right? And then have the opportunity to invite people into that space, invite your kids, invite your spouse, into that space, and know that it's okay for them to be there, but it's also okay for them to not be there, and let them know that it's okay for them to not be there. Interestingly enough, when everything happened with COVID, my youngest son still had his school. He's in preschool, so he can't really do anything by himself. So he would literally sit in the man cave with me in my office space, and he would do his work. And you know, so here we are sitting in the space together, like we're working together. We almost shoulder to shoulder, like we working in a cubicle. I'm helping him with his assignments and whatnot, like his little projects that he's working on in between meetings, or I might be sitting in a meeting. And so, I was able to welcome him into that space, but also know that there are times when Daddy is just hanging out in a space by himself. Daddy's playing a video game. Daddy's watching a movie. Daddy's not doing anything. You can come on in, come hang out with Daddy. Oh, you want to watch something on? And so we can, they can be invited into that space. We can share that space, but then there's also time for that space to just be yours. And then there's the kind of, I think, the one of the ones that people don't use as often, and I know they don't because it's hard, right? It's a really hard one to consider using, especially when you work all the time and you are tired and you wake up early in the morning to get to work. I know my wife, you know, wakes up early working in healthcare. She wakes up really early in the morning, and she has to, go to bed early at night so that she can get up and go the next day. Or when she used to work the evening shifts, it was even crazier because, but the long and short of it is staying up late, taking the opportunity to stay up late sometimes, not all the time. Don't do it all the time because it's hard. It can be hard on you. But taking the opportunity to stay up late, quiet in the house, no sounds, like no sounds. I mean, my house is. I'm up late right now. It's dead quiet in the house, and I appreciate it. I appreciate that the house isn't making noises. I appreciate I have a roof over my head. I appreciate that my boys are sleeping. And when I look in on my wife, I appreciate how hard she works. Right? I know that she is in the bed now because she is working hard during the day and is exhausted. And for better or for worse, I am up, and I may regret it tomorrow, but I like having this time, and being able to take this time to think about a lot of things, um, and talk to you. Do this very new and young thing that I'm doing. It's like Daddy Confessions is new, but it's something that I believe um, serves a purpose. And so I'm doing it. And I do it late at night because I want to take this time, even though I'm exhausted, been in meetings all day, looking at computer screens all day, helping out my sons with their work all day, that I want to make sure that I take time to do something for me when I can be alone. Um, and although I put these out there into the world, and I hope someone out there gets something from these, um, from my sharing. It's for me. I mean, it's all for me. It's a opportunity for me to think about my life as a father, um, and all the things that I am constantly working on. Being a better father, being a better man, being a better husband. Um, in these times where it is um, oftentimes very hard to be uh, given even the least bit of credit for being um, positive in times that are so negative, and for doing positive things. Um, so, you know, I'm going to end it there. And I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in to Daddy Confessions. If you have any questions or comments, or would like to hear me talk about a topic either alone or with a group, um, uh, you can send it to thedaddyconfessions at gmail.com. Um, again, thank you. I hope you have a blessed day, blessed night, and whenever you're listening to this, and I look forward to doing more of these in the near future.